Awesome. Are you
Hey,
here?
yeah,
Well,
I'm
give me,
here, right here.
yay. How
Hi.
exciting. You know what? Oh, good. Yay. You know what? I feel like you were here early and ready to go. Awesome. That's a good. So, and I forgot to say this, I'll say it now, is that when we call on you, after Gary calls you, give you a second to sort of, be like, oh God, like, oh God, drink it down, do what you got to do before you start, just so you don't feel like but are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, you go. You were. Okay, please welcome our first storyteller of the evening, Cheryl. Yay.
Hi. When I was about 4 years old, right before kindergarten, I was shipped off to rural Texas, to Tyler, Texas. I left my mom and was sent to live with my grandmother and my aunt. And that was decades ago. And to this day, I don't know exactly why I was sent away. But I suspect it had something to do with being a victim of and an observer of abuse by my stepfather. So I go to this little country town, and I've got this big personality. And this grandmother was old school. Her idea of children, particularly girls, should be seen and not heard. And often I would hear her say, "Stop being so mannish." Mannish. I don't know if that was a Southern thing, but I knew it was to shut up. And looking at the word today, it sounds like don't be as if a man with a voice. Don't be, just be little. So about 3 or 4 years later, I'm about 8 or 9 years old. I go back to Los Angeles, and that whole rural Texas mentality affected how I approached education, school. The way I got good grades was to keep my hands crossed, keep to myself, but it came at a huge price. When I got to my early 20s, I started working at a large financial institution selling corporate financial services. So I'm calling on VPs of finance and treasurers and the like. And I liked the lifestyle. I was out and about, could do my own schedule, use my personality, and I made sales goals. The problem occurred when I would go back into corporate headquarters for our team meetings. And at one particular meeting, there was my boss. His name was Ron. And he's there presenting in his business-like way that we were required to turn in call reports. These are write-ups about our visits to clients. These call reports would not be read, but they had to be turned in. It was just strictly a perfunctory exercise, just do it. So the ever curious person that I am, I raise my hand and I say, well, Ron, what if we put that content in reports that will be read? There's this hush in the room. During the break of this meeting, I am invited out by my boss in the hallway, and he says, whenever you talk, people listen to you. They don't listen to me, and I'm the manager. And all I could hear in my ear was my grandmother saying, "Stop being so mannish. Stop being." So that affected me for a couple of years. I went on to another job, and the same thing happened, this time in a hospital. I was on a communications team, and I offered a suggestion. And the manager at that time just pulls out this huge laugh. He almost falls on the floor laughing after I give a suggestion. He wanted everyone to know that he found whatever I was saying hysterical. When he sobered up, I said, "Excuse me, is there something funny about what I said?" He says, "Oh, no." And in fact, they ended up using the idea. He says, "What's funny is that it came out of your mouth. Why do you think you know this information?" And yet it happened again in another situation. A boss says to me, "You always bring your A game to your efforts. Just bring your B or C game. No one knows the difference." In 2008, I started a corporate consultancy where I help leaders talk to their employees. And my business was going okay, but started to wane at the beginning of the year, but picked up after George Floyd died. Suddenly, companies were clamoring for ways to talk about race. And one of the things I shared with them was that those little remarks that I was getting are called microaggressions. They got a fancy name for shaming people. I think it's incredibly ironic that I was born in a family with a threat of punishment for speaking up, and now I'm paid for speaking out. Thank you.
Yes. Cheryl, that was fantastic. Thank you. What a great, amazing way to start. That's so, that was, God, we've worked at the same places.
Yes.
I don't remember seeing you in the work. I don't remember seeing you in the hallways, but yet I had the exact same experiences. How incredible. Thank you. And